Well, today I just sort of wanted to come out and listen to you. I'm sort of always singing heartily in the hymns, but it was really quite a joy to hear you singing out. It was beautiful. The organ, your voices, how wondrous it was. So today we hear this scripture, and at the very first two words that we hear are, I am. I am. It's a very declarative statement, don't you think? It wasn't, I think, or maybe, but it was very declarative, wasn't it? It was, I am the true vine, were the first few words of the scripture. And then it said, and my Father is the vine grower. Okay? And then later on, there was another declarative statement. First, the same thing again. It said, I am the vine. You are the branches. Okay? There was no room for any kind of debate in that statement. I am, you are. Okay? But first, before we go deeper into that statement and everything about it and everything, because I want to remind you that this is the book of John, and you are not going to dive into the book of Matthew or Mark or Luke in the Bible, and you are not going to find Jesus going, I am, you are. He's not going to do that. He's much more loose. Okay? So these scriptures that we read in John are the scriptures that you usually see and usually read, usually hear in liturgical or church worship settings. Okay? Because the book of John is sort of, as they say, preaching to the choir. What's the preaching to the choir about? They're there, they can't go anywhere. They believe in what they're doing, they like it right there, they're staying, they ain't going anywhere, and believe me, they're not going anywhere. And so there's no question about why they are here. That's why the book of John is oftentimes used in very high churchy settings. Is that everyone, okay, we're not here as a bunch of people who are going, I don't know. But it's used in those settings where it's like, we are declaring who we are, that we are, and who we belong to. Okay? So when Jesus says, I am the true vine, okay, he says other I ams in the book of John. So it's not just that Jesus is saying that I'm only a vine, okay? He says other I ams. Does anyone ever remember any other things he might say? Because it's really the only time he says it is I am. You can figure these ones out. Any other ideas? I saw a chin scratch there. I am the truth, the light, and something else. That's good. Any other I ams you can think of? I am the way. I am the bread? Bread of life. Or these are things that are spoken of him. So, he says, I am the bread, or I am the way, the true way. I am the light. And it says here, and then you are the branches. Okay? So if he is the way, what might you be if he were to finish that sentence? Because he doesn't. Let's guess. If he is the way, what are you? The follower.
The road.
The road, ooh. Any other? Okay, that's all right, good. So let's stop there. Now, let's get ourselves out of the book of John. Let's totally extract ourselves from the book of John. If I were then to have Jesus saying, I am, who would you like Jesus, or how would you like Jesus to finish that sentence? I am what? The Good Shepherd. He said that actually in last week's scripture, which John did not use. But it was in the book of John. I told you to get out of the book of John, but you can stay in there if you'd like. I am the rock of ages. Cool. What else? I am the teacher. I am strong. I am the fisherman. I am human. True so. No other I ams? I am the fisher of people. Stop. I am that I am. That was not in the book of John. I am the way. Well, so there's one, okay. I am the healer. I am love. I am special. I'll let you come back if you think of one, okay? You can just break up, or you can jump up screaming up and down saying, I got one, Ken, I got one, Yen. But we're going to move on a little bit here. So if he is one of those things, where he says, I am the vine and you are the branch, now, tell me, who are you? Let's erase everything else. Just, who are you? Sheep of his pasture. Followers. Children. What's that? You are the one who should love everybody. Ooh. What's? You are a bud on the vine. And you may not even want to have it referring to Jesus here. Also, he opens it way up. You are what? Seeker. Leader. Flower. Receiver. Sinners. Ooh. Imperfect. You have another one, Paula, or no? No? Okay, so we have this sort of high churchy understanding maybe of who Jesus declares himself and who Jesus would declare us as. We have this other sort of casual record of who we think Jesus is or want him to be. And we've also spoken some things of who we are. So it's interesting. I'm going to take, there's a game, where you just throw out adjectives and nouns and everything, and then they throw them into crazy sentences, and they're very funny. But what if we were to take I am human as the Jesus suggestion that Susan offered? And what was another one that described the us that we want to put in there that would it'd be interesting? I am human and you are the vine. I am human and you are human. There you go. I am human and you are human. Not untrue at all. I am the human and you are the follower. You are the follower. I am human. Anyone up here? Okay, so we find ourselves in this declarative statement of Jesus saying, I am this and you are that. And then we can find ourselves at times being totally agreeable to that. And other times we can go, oh, I don't agree with that one bit, because I'm just ornery today. And I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to do that. And we can, though, find deeper into this scripture something that maybe help us along the way, no matter where we are. It talks about this word abide. Now, who can describe the word abide? I'm going to pick on Morgan right now because she's in school. What would you say abide is? Any clue? Yeah. You know what that word is or no? Never heard it? Okay. Stay with. Walk with. Listen to. Was that another one? Obey. So this word in there is abide, to walk with, to stay with. Okay? And in this reading, it talks about in vine and branch, or in vine and vine grower, that as long as you abide in the vine, okay, it says as long as you abide in the vine, walk with the vine will abide in you. Okay? Now, what do you think about that statement? It might be a little one, it may be saying, hey, listen, you got to make the decision first. Isn't that what that sentence sounds like? You got to make the decision first. You have to abide in God. You have to believe in God before God will believe in you. That's what it sounds like to me. Or am I wrong? You think I'm wrong. How so? Tell me why you think I'm wrong, Sharon.
I think another way to think about abide is grow with.
Another way to think about abide is to grow with, okay?
Yeah, and I think that we can grow with the vine without, like, necessarily joining something.
Okay.
The vine is an extension of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. That's good, because if you do look at a vine, the branch isn't going to survive anyhow, right, in the first place, on its own. It has no choice. It does not make a decision to be a part of the vine. The branch is already a part of the vine. Okay? So, if anything, what I think Jesus might be trying to convey to us here is that the more you walk with me, the more I will walk with you. It's not that I'm already not walking with you. It's not already the fact that I might be carrying you right now. But the more you walk with me, you are with me, you stay with me, then the more I will stay with you. And then it says something very, very strong though here. And I need you to tell me what you feel about this, because you need to have a reaction to this. It says later, however, in the reading, it says, whoever does not abide in me is thrown away and withers. And what happens to those? Yeah, and then they're gathered and they're burnt. Ah! So, reaction time. It's in there. We cannot gloss over it. How do we react to that? It's a metaphor rather than you're really going to be burned, okay? Yes, sir?
Burning is a metaphor for transformation.
Burning, okay, we'll get to that.
Or because those who do not abide by His word deserve to be burned.
They deserve, if you don't, deserve to be pruned off. Because that's really what he's saying.
Yes, but I have had a wonderful career.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to travel the world and deal with the common man at the factory. And some of this is all questionable. Because how do you abide from another area that never heard it?
Right. What about people who've never heard of the word?
My thought is that God has a great sense of humor.
God has a great sense of humor.
I mean, he put the flamingo's knees on maggots.
That's right.
So, however, most of the religions of the world, except for the endings, preach love, kindness to each other, and the endings are where things get ugly, fouled up.
Ooh. Look at that. He was talking about the children's time in there too. Good for you. Linda. Withered. Ooh, good for you. I see a lot of satisfied faces in the crowd, Linda. Good job. Good job. Polly.
And the throwaway part of it is hard because we're always told that God is patient. He's there waiting for you to open the crack and let him in.
Cool. What about this transformation thing that you're talking about here with fire? Sharon?
So the myth of the phoenix is that it crashes and burns and then it's born again.
Interesting.
Something new.
This is a very interesting thing. She's taken the whole scripture a whole nother level. Fantastic. You're allowed to do that, by the way. You know, because if you just read this, you get the Bible out and you're reading it, and you go, oh, this is exactly what it means right here on this page. Look how deep that page is. Not very deep. Not much room for growth, right? Or mistake, or certainty even, okay? So she took this to a whole other level. Just because you wither, just because maybe it's burnt up, I mean, that whole idea of the phoenix story, which is an ancient story, which is a resurrection story. The phoenix crashes, it burns, and from the ashes it rises again. It becomes something new and beautiful all over again. Perhaps there is still yet hope in this story that says if you don't abide in me, you're going to wither and get burned off. But there's even a secret. There's even a little special nugget in there where all of a sudden there's this O. Henry surprise ending, right? Where all of a sudden from the ashes we are born again. Look at how you guys preach a sermon. You are incredible. I thank you for your wisdom, your experience, your strength, your hope, all that you are, and all God has created you to be. May the Lord be with you.